Hey everyone, welcome back to the MMA Circle. Finally back. We're going to do this last video for UFC 207, which is the main event featuring the champion Amanda Nunes versus number one contender Ronda Rousey. And I'm glad I waited to do this video because I was going to do it earlier, but that was before we found out that neither one of these girls is going to be doing their media obligations in the lead up to the fight, which I think is actually pretty significant. And I think it's bullshit, but it is significant as far as to how this fight's going to play out. And I'm going to do a video after this explaining why I think it's bullshit and why I think it sets women's MMA back fucking 5 years. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about breaking down the fight and giving you the most accurate prediction I can give you. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? And we're going to start with, the most obvious factor in this fight, which is the grappling. A lot of people are saying, oh, Amanda Nunes, she's a BJJ black belt. She can hold her own against Ronda. And that might be the case, but that's not what I've seen in her previous fights. I've actually seen her get stuck in some pretty bad positions and get too comfortable on the ground, not really work her way back to more dominant positions or more defensive positions. She kind of gets stuck, looks like a fish out of water. And, Ronda Rousey's an Olympic caliber judoka. If there was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Olympics, right? If Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was in the Olympics, would Amanda Nunes go represent Brazil? Is she the best that Brazil has to offer in BJJ? Probably not, right? But even if she was, would she medal in the BJJ Olympic event? Probably not, right? Whereas Ronda Rousey was the third best in the world. She's a bronze medalist, right? The third best in the world at judo at the time. And, that's what really separates the two as far as grappling goes. As far as striking goes, Amanda Nunes, she has pretty good boxing. But, most of her wins, they're not clean KOs. They're TKOs where she's fighting women that just give up. We've seen Shayna Baszler just fall to the ground with a leg kick that wasn't even really a good leg kick. And Miesha Tate, she was just giving up in her fight. That neck crank that she tapped out to, that wasn't even a choke. She wasn't gonna go out. Amanda Nunes wasn't even really squeezing on it, and Miesha Tate tapped out. And then Sarah McMahon kind of tapped out to the same neck crank where it was tighter, but it still didn't look like it could finish the fight. I don't know if Amanda Nunes has the squeeze, to actually finish that choke. But I guess, who would know other than Sarah McMahon and Miesha Tate? But it didn't look very tight to me. Whereas when Ronda Rousey was caught in that same neck crank against her fight, or in her fight against Liz Carmouche, she didn't tap. She adjusted her freaking sports bra and, wasn't even really, it was weird, but she didn't tap, and that shit was a lot tighter. Liz Carmouche is a lot stronger than Amanda Nunes is. Ronda Rousey didn't give up. She didn't tap to that shit. She knew she wasn't going to get finished, and that's what brings me to this part of the fight, which is Ronda Rousey, you have to fucking put her away to beat her, okay? You're not going to tap her out. You're not going to break her will with strikes. She's going to keep coming forward. She's going to keep trying to fuck you up if you don't put her away, okay? And we've seen that. We've seen that in a few of her fights. You don't break her will. You could frustrate her to the point where she makes mistakes, but you're not gonna get her to just give up like we saw with some of Amanda Nunes' opponents do. Like the Miesha Tate fight, that was bad, man. And then we got to consider the fact that Misha was already out the door, basically, when she fought Amanda Nunes. I chalk that win up to a hungry up-and-comer in Amanda Nunes versus a woman that accomplished everything she thought she needed to accomplish in the sport and just didn't give a shit anymore, right? In her fight against Raquel Pennington, she straight up said on the bench, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm fucking done. You know, and if we saw round 2 in that fight against Amanda Nunes, she might have came out and said that a lot sooner. But, you know, let's get to the elephant in the room, which is Ronda Rousey's headspace, where she's at mentally and stuff. You know, we saw her disappear for, I think, 13, 14 months after the knockout to Holly Holm. And she did suffer a broken jaw in that, and most likely a concussion as well. So that shit takes time to heal from, you know? It takes a long time. Remember, you know, there's guys that get concussions that are out for over a year. And I don't know if she had a concussion or not, but I'd assume if you get fucking head kicked like that and you get a broken jaw, you know, the concussion just comes with the territory. And, you know, neither one of them are doing media now, so that's really fucking bogus, man. But it kind of plays into Amanda Nunes' favor, because I think the media was on their way to breaking her. You know, I watched several interviews with Amanda Nunes throughout the lead up to this fight, and these fucking MMA interviewers are such fucking idiots, man. It's like they were really drilling her on things that could be like her insecurities, right? Like, I'm not saying she's not comfortable in her own skin, but how many fucking times do they have to bring up her being gay and ask her about her girlfriend and just, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. Like, we know she's fucking gay. Who gives a shit? Why the fuck are you guys fucking drilling her on it, you know? And then they're telling her she's fucking fat, basically, you know. Oh, you're fucking 15 pounds overweight for the fight today, you know, that's pretty heavy, and blah, blah, blah. You know, and then they talk about her not being able to speak English when they know her fucking interviews are going to be seen by, you know, thousands or millions of people, and her gas tank and shit, you know, and I don't know, man. It's probably a good thing she backed out of the media obligations, too, because how many fucking times can you talk about your love life? You know, they don't do that with the guys. Oh, how's your wife? You know, how's the dynamic at your home? You know, like, they don't do that with other people. And I don't know why the fuck they're doing it with Amanda Nunes, because it's, I mean, and it was mostly the fucking UFC on Fox people that were doing that stupid shit, and like kind of like mainstream media people, you know, and it was totally bogus, and I didn't like it, and I'm glad Nunes backed out of the media obligations too, kinda, but not really. I mean, it still kind of bugs me, you know, because if that was a man, they'd be doing the fucking media obligations, plain and simple. You know, some people think the loss broke Ronda Rousey, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. But I do think that it really fucked up Ronda Rousey's career, you know, because if you remember, she was going to do these movies and these shows and all this shit, and then when she gets knocked out, all that shit fell through. It just fell through. She was supposed to be in that Roadhouse movie. They pushed production of that way back into fucking 2017, you know, and so suddenly, you know, Ronda's probably realizing, like, hey, if I don't fucking get out there and win fights, I'm not the fucking star that I thought I was. And I think that bugs her, and that probably motivates her a little bit too, you know, whether she wants to fight or not. She realizes that fucking fighting got her everything she has, and losing a fight took all of that shit away. So, you know, I don't know. I think Ronda could have came back sooner, but I think she was waiting for the right matchup. Someone that plays into her strengths, and I think that Amanda Nunes really does play into her strengths, you know, because the longer the fight goes, the more Nunes freezes up and the less offense she delivers. And Ronda, she's still good at getting the finish in the third round. We saw that against Misha Tate, you know. And yeah, I don't know. A couple key things to note about this fight, though, are if you look at the fight with Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko, right? Amanda relied heavily on her grappling in that fight, because Valentina's kind of like, she's still green as far as grappling goes. But she got that neck crank on Valentina, and Valentina didn't tap out. She didn't break. And then Valentina came back to win the third round. Valentina was fucking taking Amanda Nunes down in the third round, okay? And if Valentina Shevchenko can take her down, how the fuck do you think Ronda Rousey can't take her down, Amanda Nunes is going to have to break Ronda Rousey. We've seen that in her fights. She doesn't fucking get clean finishes. She has to break her, and Ronda Rousey doesn't break, okay? She gets frustrated and shit, but by the time Holly Holm finished Ronda, Amanda Nunes would have been gassed already. So I'm just going to go ahead and give my prediction for this fight. I think Ronda Rousey weathers the storm in the first round, gets a classic Ronda Rousey armbar in the second round to defeat Amanda Nunes by submission. Not just that, though. If you go back and look at the last time Ronda Rousey was a challenger, she fucking mangled Miesha Tate's arm in Strikeforce, right? Nasty. I don't know if it broke, dislocated, or what. It bent in ways that people are not supposed to bend, okay? And I have a feeling the same thing is going to happen to this fight, because Amanda Nunes, she doesn't want to lose that fucking belt. She loves that belt. She wants the belt. She probably doesn't want to be embarrassed in front of her girlfriend, She's kind of like the dom, and it's like, I think about me and my relationship, like I'm the dom, right? And I wouldn't want to get fucking tapped out by a girl. I wouldn't want to tap to a girl and have my girlfriend say, "Oh, you big fucking pussy, look what you did." So I doubt that's going to be fucking a factor. But I do think that Amanda's not going to tap quick enough for Ronda Rousey's liking. And I think Ronda Rousey's going to make a fucking bold statement to everybody that fucking harped on her and talked shit to her. And she's probably going to fucking snap Ronda Rousey's... she's probably going to snap Amanda Nunes' arm in half. Because that's how you get everything back that you lost. You can't just fucking beat her. You have to beat her viciously, brutally. That's what gets the most eyes on you. That's what gets people talking about you the most. And she knows that. And so I'm looking for Ronda Rousey to snap Amanda Nunes' arm in the second round, honestly. Not saying I condone it or condemn it. I just try to put myself in that situation. What would I do? I'd probably fucking snap her arm. If it got me some more exposure. And I know I'm not a fighter, though, so it's a shitty thing to say. I don't want to see it happen, but I just have a feeling it could happen. So, let me know what you guys think, man, and, I'm interested in hearing from you. Thanks for all the views and likes and comments so far. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I do love MMA. I do love fighting, and, the more we can talk about this and engage in intelligent discussions about it, the better it is for everyone. So stay tuned. I'll be doing a recap video after UFC 207, and I will be doing a video after this one explaining why I think this whole media charade is bad for women's MMA and should have never been allowed to happen, okay? So thanks for watching, guys, and take care. Peace.